Hi friends, I can't wait to read more from where we left off yesterday. The next chapter, as you remember, is called Xena. Another dog races over, a tough-looking German shepherd, wearing an impressive glow-in-the-dark vest and some booty things to protect her feet from the rubble. But I hold my ground. This is my friend we're talking about. I lick Ivan's hand. His fingers twitch. Well, that's all it takes to get both of us barking like maniacs. More people gather. I see Maya next to Ruby, which makes me feel better. Name's Xena, says the shepherd. Bob. I nudge Ivan's finger with my nose. Nothing. And this is Ivan, my best bud. Sorry to hear it, she replies, and I don't like the sound of her voice. With great care and far too slowly for my taste, rescue workers begin removing chunks of the wreckage and tossing them to one side. Xena and me, we mostly stay out of the way, but every so often I lick Ivan's hands just so he knows we've got him covered. I glance over at Maya and Ruby. Maya is wiping tears from her eyes while she strokes Ruby's ears. Ruby is giving Maya a comforting trunk hug. Good old Ruby, wise beyond her years, that gal. I check the crowd again. Still no sign of Julia or George. And that's when a sickening thought hits me like a bite to the belly. What if Ivan isn't the only one under the rubble? The next chapter is called Dragon. More police cars and ambulances arrive at the park. A handful of keepers stream in too, looking frantic and confused. The weirdest thing of all, wandering through all the destruction are random park residents. Animals, birds, reptiles. Residents who most definitely do not belong in gorilla world. A police officer is chasing an armadillo. A great blue heron watches the mayhem from her position atop a giraffe statue. There's the great blue heron atop the giraffe statue. A wallaby pokes his nose out of a bush, his saucer eyes catching the fire engine lights. Nets, someone yells. We need more nets. An older gentleman holding a blue umbrella lets out a blood-curdling scream. Dragon, he cries. I swear to you, I just saw a baby dragon. Sir, says a keeper named Malik, no worries. That's actually a Gila monster. His name is Gilligan. Maybe it's Gila monster? His name is Gilligan? A paramedic raises his hand. They have, like, venom, don't they? They say a healthy adult won't die from it, Malik shrugs, although they'll be in some serious pain. Wonderful, the paramedic mutters. I glance over my shoulder to see Sarah running toward Maya. I can't hear her words, but I can definitely see the worry in her eyes. Xena's ears tip forward. They're getting the cutters in the jaws of life. Jaws? I repeat. Don't like the sound of that. Spread's metal. They're probably getting close. Come on. We need to get out of the way. I ain't going anywhere. I hear you, she says, and I can tell from the weary sound of her voice that she's had this conversation before. But the best thing for Ivan right now is to let the humans do their thing. I think about it, figure she's right. I give his fingers one last lick. They don't move. Nothing. Nada. We pick our way to the bottom of the debris pile. Hang in there, Ivan, I call. We love you, buddy. I know it's crazy, but I listen anyways, hoping for a sign, any sign that he's still with us. The next chapter is Hugging. I run to Kenyani. Don't worry, I tell her. He's going to make it. I can tell she doesn't believe me. From there, I head over to Maya and Sarah and Ruby. Maya has a radio handset in one hand, and for some reason, a young, squirmy meerkat in the other. Sarah kneels down and hugs me tighter than any sweater she's ever knit. Bob, she cries, what happened to your nose? And look at your paw. Some dogs don't like to be hugged that way. I'm one of them. But Sarah needs to do it. I can tell somehow. So I let her. Isn't so bad, really. Next chapter is Loose. A new police officer joins us. Officer Williams, she nods at Maya. You're with the park, right? Yes, I'm Maya. This, Officer Williams pauses. We need to get this under control ASAP. Winds are going to pick up, and we haven't even hit the eye. Storm surge could be an issue. This one's moving slow. We've got a skeleton staff here, says Maya as the meerkat attempts to eat her earring. Early reports say maybe a third of the habitats are damaged or destroyed. She shakes her head. We've got some injuries, some possible fatalities, too. Boys and girls, I'm sorry to tell you, but a synonym to fatalities is death, so they're concerned maybe some of the animals haven't made it. Human fatalities? No, I don't think so. Anything loose that could be a, problem? Maya presses her lips together. Yep, such as a couple Florida panthers, Gray wolves, python maybe, possibly an alligator or two. American alligators, not Chinese. I don't care if they're from Canada. If they eat people, we're in trouble. They don't, typically. Typically, Officer Williams repeats, well, that's reassuring. And boys and girls, remember when we spoke about, or when I spoke about the, I can't even remember, the needles that they might have to give the animals to kind of stop them in their tracks. That would be the concern because there's such chaos after the storm. If the animals like kind of freak out, they wouldn't usually be dangerous. They're usually around lots of people at the zoo, but you don't know what could happen in a crazy, crazy circumstance. Excuse me. Typically, Officer William repeats, well, that's reassuring. Sarah loosens her grip on me ever so slightly. Oh, trank. They use the word trank, short for tranquilizer. That was the word. Sarah loosens her grip on me ever so slightly. Maya, she asked, voice trembling, have you heard anything on the radio from George and Julia? I keep asking, but the cell towers are down. Nothing yet, Maya says, but I'm sure they're fine. Nearest shelter's over at Lincoln Elementary, says Officer Williams. You could check there. Sarah frowns. They were probably here right before the tornado hit. We're searching the park, ma'am, says the officer. We'll find them if they're here. Everybody clear out, a firefighter with a megaphone yells from a spot near Ivan. Could be danger of more collapse. We're working on this last metal beam. I look to see if Ivan's fingers are moving. Nothing. Hold on, Ivan, I yell. Nothing. Sometimes nothing is the worst sound in the world. Ruby lets out a little elephant cry, and then I realize maybe that's the worst sound in the world. The next chapter is called CPR. The wind dies down to a whisper as if the world is holding its breath along with the rest of us. Sorry, friends. Do you have any vets standing by? Asked Officer Williams as two more ambulances screeched to a halt nearby. Yes, Maya nods. Not sure when they'll get here, though. Officer Williams waves down an ambulance crew member. You ever give CPR to a gorilla? Primate's a primate, I guess, he says, but he doesn't look too sure. What's going on? We're waiting on equipment, but we're stretched pretty thin. Lots of structural damage on the north side of town, says Officer Williams. They're going to get a chain on that last beam. Try pulling it free with one of the cards. Somebody under there? Gorilla, we think. Not sure what else or who else. Boys and girls, CPR is a resuscitation strategy that is used when breaths are breathed into someone's mouth and then the chest is compressed to try to get the heart pumping again and the breaths going again when someone is non-responsive. People who are trained, like doctors, nurses, EMT, paramedics, and some regular people like me are CPR trained too, just in case there was ever an emergency and I could help. Somebody under there? Gorilla, we think. Not sure what else or who else. I look at all the cement, all the wood and metal. Nobody could survive that. Not even a silverback gorilla with the strength of 8 men. And yet, Ivan's fingers moved. And then they didn't. Several minutes pass. The rain slows a bit along with the wind. The crowd watches as 3 firefighters attach a long chain to the metal beam next to Ivan, then hook it to a tow bar on the rear of the police car. Back up, folks, calls the megaphone guy. Farther! The chain clanks, the car growls, the wheels squeal, grinding, groaning, progress just a bit. The big chunk of metal has definitely moved a whisker or two. More grinding, wheels dig holes in the ground, mud flies like thick brown rain, a lurch, a snap, clanks and rumbles as the big beam jerks free. The rescue workers move in, digging with their bare hands. Cement and dust and metal and bits and pieces of gorilla world are everywhere. But where is Ivan? The next chapter is no movement, nothing. But after a few more minutes, one thing is clear. A gorilla-shaped mound has appeared, covered by dust and dirt and debris and splattered with rain. It just lies there. I've lost a lot in my life. My whole family. Stella. But Ivan? No, it can't happen. Not Ivan. Boys and girls, the next chapter is called Miracle, and it says, the mound sits up. Yes! Yay! Gorilla ghost. Ivan emerges from a cloud of dust just like a jumbo-sized ghost. He blinks several times, coughs, shakes, stretches a little. He's holding a banana, which he proceeds to eat. Everyone, and I do mean everyone, cheers. Whew. Thank goodness. I think we can stop now because we know that Ivan is okay because I don't know about you, but my belly was hurting me during that read aloud today and yesterday. Whew. Next chapter is called Wolf on the Run, and we will pick up on page 210. I feel so much better now. Whew. I will see you next time. Thank goodness Ivan is okay. Just eating a banana, like chilling. Like nothing ever happened.